this chapter, we'll focus on the third part of our framework, outside in. We'll start by looking at the concept of network effect, which is critical to both understand and strategically leverage. Without doing so, there will be an immediate ceiling on your levels of well-being, performance, and resilience. In the mid-1930s, Professor Hugh Smith was floating down a river in Southeast Asia when he saw a mangrove tree along the embankment flash as if it had been struck by a bolt of lightning and then go dark again. And then, as Dr. Smith described it, a second tree flashed as if it had been struck by a bolt of lightning and went dark again. Subsequently, for about 1,000 feet, as far as he could see around the river bend, all the trees flashed at the same time. Curious to know more, Dr. Smith approached the trees and found that it was lightning bugs or fireflies flashing in sync. Being the scientist that he was, Dr. Smith came back to Washington State, wrote up a paper about it, published it in the prestigious journal Science, but was largely not believed. It shouldn't and wouldn't make any sense for a firefly to flash in sync with other fireflies. The point of a flash is to distinguish itself or to attract a mate. There's all sorts of other reasons why various experts weighed in that this would be unlikely, if not impossible. But what we now know in decades of subsequent research is that the reason these fireflies flash in sync is because it dramatically raises their collective chances of success. In fact, in some cases, some will argue as much as 80% increase in the likelihood of success when they are flashing in sync as an interconnected community. And this is the basic idea of network effect, that small changes when leveraged sort of in sync with other individuals can lead to significant effects. And it's sort of the cornerstone of this idea of outside in. The idea that your environment and your surroundings have a huge impact on your ability to flash, let alone flash in sync in ways that really leverage that network effect. The story of the phenomenon of the fireflies glowing in sync with one another provides a really good metaphor for network effects. In psychology, a network effect is really related to social networks as a whole, which have been shown to impact behavior, emotional state, well-being, when you engage in positive behavior, when you engage in maybe negative behavior, behavior that is not values aligned. It can create chains of positive actions or negative actions and attitudes, habits, mindsets even. So it's important to pay attention to the network effects that you are a part of or that you create. Positive social connections more generally have been linked to lower rates of anxiety and depression, increased happiness, improved physical health. Research has shown that positive social interactions can activate regions of the brain associated with reward and motivation and increased feelings of well-being and social bonding. There's all sorts of good stuff that happens when we pay attention to and nourish positive relationships in our lives. It is the single greatest predictor of life satisfaction, well-being, globally, bar none.